Welcome back to another episode of The Real Realtor of Houston, where I'm Kendall Peacock Butler, the Real Realtor of Houston. And I am so excited because this is at least part one of whatever this series is. It's definitely, I don't know how many parts it's going to be, but you definitely are going to get part one today of the home ownership, home buying series. If you're thinking about purchasing a home, you're kind of want to enter into the market, but you're like, oh my gosh, I really don't know where to start. You know, it's buying a home, it's so much responsibility, you know, all those things. If any of those questions have popped into your mind, or you own a home and you want to upgrade, you want to downsize, and you're thinking about purchasing a home because obviously where are we going to be moving to once we sell our home, this episode is for you. Because if you've owned a home previously, what you did to get ready, you might not need to do that now. Then you can look and see how can you use that equity that you have in your home to use that to purchase a new one. So if you're thinking about purchasing a home, questions popping up, you're not really sure where to start, stay tuned. This episode is just for you. So popping right on in. This is a crazy market that we have been in with the interest rates. We've seen I got started in real estate in 2019. So as we've seen this market shift from the buyers entering into the crazy sellers market that it was of COVID, into where they jacked up the interest rates and the home prices were high. And so now we're seeing where the interest rates, they did a little bit of a decline, but they're kind of leveling out at those mid sixes to high sixes, low sevens. So thinking about getting a home or thinking about purchasing something in real estate, if you're trying to wait for the perfect storm, I really think that now is the time to go ahead and start having those conversations of seeing how to get yourself prepared. Even if you are like on the fence, you're like, well, I'm not really thinking about it right now. We're in election year. So that means that they're going to be doing everything to get your vote to say, hey, choose me. That means dropping the interest rates, but that also means that we're entering into multiple offer situations. And what that means when you're entering into a multiple offer situation, when you're a buyer and you're looking at whatever this house is, we're going to do 123 Main Street because that seems to be a very popular address in examples. But let's say you're looking at 123 Main Street and it's been on the market for 5 days, 10 days, however many days it's been on the market. And you're like, oh my God, this home is perfect. I think we found the one. It's a lot of flies out here, Jesus. Be like, we think we found the home. This is perfect. You know, we want to put an offer on it. And you find out from the other realtor, from your realtor, that there's multiple offers on this property. So now you have to make sure that you're coming in with the strongest offer possible. There's no room for negotiations a lot of times. Like, you can, but when you're going in with multiple offers, you don't want for your offer to be the one that the seller is like, I'm not entertaining this nonsense. Like, I got a full price offer right here. Why would I entertain this person offering me $30,000 less for my home? Nope. And now you're out the game. So step one, if you're thinking about purchasing a home, you're thinking about jumping out there, is what is your credit looking like? Where are we setting out with our credit? Because if your credit, your DTI, your income, if we can't get you pre-approved, then we're just going to be looking at homes. We're just going to be out there sightseeing. And at that point, that's not really a priority for the realtor, especially when they have other people that, you know, are actually able to give a piece of paper to the seller to say, hey, we can actually afford this house that we're looking at, or we at least got something from the lender saying that we can come in and start looking at your home with the intentions of potentially buying it. So knowing what your credit is, I don't suggest that people look at Credit Karma. That can give you an idea. It can give you a starting point. But what happens when lenders are looking at your credit and they're pre-approving you for a home, there's so many factors that go into place, so many different tools or so many different things that they look at in order to be able to pre-approve you. Not pre-qualify. You get pre-qualified because you have a job and you have a pulse. That pre-qualifies you to be able to purchase a home. We got to get you pre-approved in order to be able to actually get something locked in. So talking to a lender, you don't know where to start, get with a real estate professional that has a slew of professionals that I work with and that I've done multiple transactions with, to be able to give you a better idea. Because when they run your credit, they're going to see things that are going to pop up and be like, okay, you know, instead of paying $3,000 to pay off this credit card or $3,000 to pay off this debt, you only need to pay $15,000 or $1,511 for it, you know, $1,511, because that's going to put you at, you know, however they calculate it. This is me just giving you a random like situation, but that seriously is something that could happen. If you look at your credit, like, I got these things that need to be taken care of, or I got this credit card that I need to pay off. Before you start paying things off, just wait. Talk to the lender, let them run your credit, and let them give you an actual accurate view of what it is you need to be working on in order to get where you need to be. A lot of times we're a lot closer to that goal than we think we are. We think that my credit is bad, because we're our own worst critics. We're our own worst enemies, you know, as they say. So we're gonna think we're just so far off from this goal. And a lot of times when I get people in touch with my lenders, they find out that they're actually ready. And they've been in a spot to be able to purchase a home, but it's scary. So step number one, what is your credit? Know your credit. Let's get with a lender. Just let them take a look at your credit, see what you may need to do, if anything, and then we can go from there. All right, step number two, when you are looking at a home, you are going to have a couple of dollars in order to even get the home under contract, at least a couple of dollars. If you are a VA home buyer, of course, which is our veterans, who y'all go Navy B Army, because we know I'm a 14-year U.S. Navy veteran. If you are a veteran and using your VA home loan, of course, you know that you're not going to have a down payment. You are going to have a funding fee that's going to be rolled into your mortgage, but there are some details around that to where your funding fee may be waived, but that will be for the lender to discuss with you more. But you are going to have to worry about your EMD, which is your earnest money deposit. And that looks like, here in this greater Houston metropolitan area, that's about 1% of the sales price of the home. So if you're looking at a $200,000 home, you're going to be looking at a $2,000 EMD. $400,000 home, $4,000 EMD, and so on and so forth. So you're going to have at least 1% of the sales price of the home, whatever that's going to look like for what we're looking at or what we're shopping for. And you're going to have out here an option fee, which might be $10 a day, $7 a day. If we do an option period for a week, 7 times 7, 10 times 7, some of them want to put a nice round number of $200. And that money, your earnest money deposit and your option fee, if you have an option fee that is, paid to the seller, those are refundable to you at the time of closing, as long as you close on the home. Now, let's say you get under contract, you've paid your EMD or your earnest money deposit, you paid your option fee, which is the time you're taking this house off the market to do your home inspections, to make sure that everything is as it should be before you feel comfortable enough moving forward with the home. I don't recommend getting into a home, especially a resale home, not even new construction, without a home inspection. You always want to make sure that you get a home inspection, because there could be anything that pops up in this house. And once you sign the paperwork saying that you're okay with the house as is, that seller is no longer responsible for it. In new construction, you do have warranties that cover, but even in the warranties, that can be tricky sometimes. So when you are given that option fee and you're taking the home off the market from any other potential buyers coming and taking a look at it, you're going to want to know that that money will come back to you at closing. However, if you decide that you don't want to stick with this home and you back out of it in the right way, taking the right channels to be able to back out of the contract, which those are details that can be discussed with your real estate professional. you will get your EMD back, but that option fee will stay with the seller, because it's kind of like, hey, thank you for letting us, have the potential for this home, but, not this house. And so now they kind of got compensated for taking their home off the market for a couple of days, and you get your EMD back and you get to walk away. So tip number 2 is having at least that 10 or at least that 1% of the sales price, and then you're going to be looking at about, let's just budget for $500 for a home inspection. Let's just budget $500 for a home inspection, so you can just get that number in your head to be prepared for it. Once you paid your EMD, the option fee, and you've done your home inspection, that's pretty much what you're going to be having out of your pocket. You do have to pay your credit, from what I remember purchasing my home, because this is where I'm not really involved in the process. This is just what the buyers are going through, and having been my own client 2 times at this point, I've represented myself as a buyer twice. And I don't even remember what all happened with my first home, because I was on deployment and just sending emails back and forth. But I do remember having to pay money to get the credit ran in order to get the the homeowner's insurance policy. So I did have to pay, I think it was like $100 for that. And then if you do get an appraisal on your home, or not if you do, getting an appraisal on your home, that fee is a service that's provided, so that is still going to be due. So you're going to be looking at, let's say on an average $400,000 house, let's just say that you want to have about $5,000 that you can be able to make moves with however you need to. So if that can give you kind of planning, if you're looking at a $200,000 house, let's have $3,000 that we can have access to get the home under contract, to pay for our home inspection, and any other associated fees, just you being under contract, because you will get that money back at closing, or be able to apply it to your closing fees should you have any. Tip number 3, not my final, but just the third one for this episode, is once you're under contract, or once you are negotiating your contract, okay, know that whatever amount that you give, or whatever amount that is agreed upon, there is going to be an appraisal that's going to be performed on your home. And this is going to be required in order for the bank to know how much we are actually able to finance or mortgage this home for. So it's kind of like when you trade in a car and it might be upside down, but they're like, oh, well, this car can't really carry the negative equity with it. This is pretty much what that means in the real estate world, where if the house, you can offer $400,000. 400 just seems to be the number that's popping into my head today. So that's what we're going to go with as far as our examples, our monetary figure. You can offer $400 for this home, right? But let's say that the appraisal comes back at $393. The bank won't give that extra $7,000 to make up the difference. They're only gonna mortgage it at that $393. So just know that there is an appraisal that's going to be done on that home to make sure that this house is selling for the right amount. So whenever you're going in, don't be scared. Don't be scared. There's nothing to be afraid of. You're purchasing probably one of the best investments, if not one of the best investments of your life. Real estate. That is the #1 vehicle that people use in order to get to wealth. And wealth doesn't have to look like what we think it does. It seriously is you just purchasing a home to live in. I should create a montage of every episode that I've said this in, because it is so true. I am in my 10th year of being a homeowner. Like, I hit my 10-year anniversary in October of being a homeowner, and it has been the most amazing ride. So much so that I've done it three times, and I've sold, like, I've flipped properties, flip-flopping them and all this other stuff. I haven't flipped them, like not taking it, fixing it up and then selling it, but living in it and then selling it. I've done that twice. So it's a lot of fun, and it's so many different ways. So if you are a first-time home buyer, or you're going to be selling a home in order to get into another home, I really highly encourage you not to be afraid. The water is fine. It might be a little bit of waves at the front, but that's why you have those conversations, to know, what do I need to do to get ready? Where am I at? It's like, If you look on my lenders episode, they use the example of a dentist. You got a tooth that needs to be pulled. It might be nasty in there, but once you get it out, you feel so much better. And once you get vision and actual eyes on what it is that it's gonna take for you to get to where you need to be, which is a home, it's okay. Like, and then the even better part about it, the even more exciting part about it is that now once you get into your home, you don't have to worry about the price going up or the mortgage amount going up. You're at a fixed rate as long as you got it at a fixed rate, but that is between you and the lender of how you structure your mortgage. But let's say you structure it like most people do, as a fixed rate, which means that whatever you locked in at today, that's what your mortgage is going to be, unless you go in there and do something different to change it. Unlike the rental market, they can go in and do a price increase however often they're going to do it. So something to think about. If you're like, well, I'm just going to keep renting until the market, it goes down a little bit. That market might not ever go down. And then if it does, the interest rates are probably going to be higher again. So if you have questions about this and so much more, because it is so much room for opportunity and growth, I'm excited already because I feel like my phone is about to be ringing here shortly about expressing just how amazing the world of home ownership is, and just how many opportunities of financial independence that you have once you take that very, very big step of just making a phone call. So go ahead, DM, phone call, voice note. I'm the voice note queen. But go ahead, hop on in there, ask me your questions. If I don't know, guess what? I know how to find out. I'm very resourceful. So that's my 3 tips to start out with my home ownership series. If you have any questions about this or anything else, if you're looking into the Houston market, if you're maybe looking at some other markets, give me a call. I have referrals literally worldwide. So no matter where you go, I'm going to be able to get you in touch with somebody. And also to note, this episode is sponsored to you by P Sweet Teas, where we have only the best organic, well, it is nothing organic about it. It's nothing healthy about it. It is, if you are on the borderline of diabetes or you have it, I would highly suggest that you don't drink any of this sweet tea. So that's a disclaimer. But aside from all that, I would actually recommend that you don't even taste it, because it's something like an addiction. Once you have it, once you pop, you can't stop. So P Sweet Teas coming to you in Good Vibes, which is your regular sweet tea flavor, Refreshing Lavender, the name is the flavor, Just Peachy, and we have, what did I name it? Zesty Lemon. And now I'm still working on the names, but we got Mellow Mango, and then we got a strawberry that I'm really still working on the name for that one. But you got lavender, peach, lemon, mango, strawberry, and regular flavors. So P Sweet Teas is available for any and all events that you need catering. Call me, hit me up. The same way you reach out to me for your real estate questions, that's how you get your orders in for P Sweet Teas. And we do ship, so you don't have to be in the greater Houston area. But if you are in the greater Houston area, we do deliver. So that is all, folks, for today's episode. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your support as we are on our road to Peacock and Bravo networks. I can't wait to see you guys at the top. Peacock